This is Stickman. Today, he has an important interview, and he's turned on GPS, trusting it completely. The GPS said, "Go straight 200 meters." Stickman said, "Okay, boss." But this GPS's brain works a little differently. After 200 meters, the GPS said, "Now turn left, toward the ocean." Stickman thought for a second, then said, "GPS is never wrong," and turned. A doll on the roadside stared at him as if saying, "Bro, this isn't right." Now Stickman has reached the water's edge. The GPS is still saying, "Go straight." Stickman asked the phone, "Bro, this is the ocean." The GPS replied, "Recalculating." 10 seconds later, the GPS said, "Swim, swim for 3 kilometers." Stickman took a deep breath and said, "All right, GPS never lies." And he started swimming. Even the fish were surprised watching him. In the middle of the ocean, the GPS spoke again. "You are 2 kilometers from your destination." A jellyfish floated past him, and Stickman even asked it, "Excuse me, is this the right way?" Finally, Stickman reached a tiny island, exhausted, soaking wet. The GPS said happily, "You have reached your destination." Stickman looked all around. There was just a coconut tree and a crab. There was no sign of the interview anywhere, just a crab staring at him. Stickman picked up the phone and said, "This isn't the interview office." The GPS calmly said, "Please rate us to help us improve." Even the crab raised a claw as if giving its own rating, 1 star. This wasn't the first time. Stickman remembered something like this had happened before, too. Once, instead of taking him to the mall, the GPS sent him straight to a chicken farm. There, a hen chased him so much that Stickman had to run a full lap around the farm. Another time, the GPS made him circle around his own house 5 times. The neighbors watched all this from their window, utterly confused. And one time, the GPS sent him straight into a wedding where he didn't know a single person. The worst part was when the groom called him up on the stage, thinking he was some relative. Every time Stickman thought, "This time it'll be right," and every time it went wrong. Now the question was how to get back home from the island. Stickman turned on GPS again. The GPS said, "To go home, first swim 500 meters north." This time Stickman said, "No way, I'm walking now," and turned off the GPS. Without GPS, Stickman started finding his own way and surprisingly walked in the right direction. Along the way, a boatman gave him a free ride because he felt sorry for Stickman. After a while, he saw his house, small, distant, but his own. Stickman reached home happily, wet, tired, but alive. Before turning off the phone, he checked the GPS history. And that's when he realized the GPS had been giving the correct interview office address all along. Stickman had pressed the wrong button himself. Stickman's face fell. Wait, this was my own mistake? In the background, the GPS's voice came again. "Would you like to try again?" Stickman threw the phone onto the couch and said, "That's enough for today." Stickman took a deep breath and said, "From tomorrow, I'll just use a map." But the very next day, the GPS was on again, because when do people ever change their habits? And this time, the GPS said, "Go straight, over the mountain." The same dog from before appeared again, shaking his head, as if it already knew this would happen. Stickman smiled and said, "All right, then one more adventure," and started climbing.